The views and opinions expressed on any program are those of the producers and/or the persons appearing on the program, and do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of FRC Media, Bristol Community College, or the City of Fall River.
Well, hello. Welcome to Spindle City Straight Talk. I'm Chip.
And I'm CJ.
And it's Friday in a Rev.
And we will be on the air Monday. I meant to tell you that, Chip.
Oh, we will be.
We will be on the air Monday. The electrical work will conclude at 9:30 in the morning.
Wow, isn't that amazing?
So we will have a show on Monday, everybody, just so you are aware.
Well, good. There's been far too many.
Too many absences.
Absences, that's right. They're going to send a truant officer after us. And some of them were unavoidable. They closed the building down.
Yeah, that Las Vegas trip was unavoidable.
Well, hey, look, if Jazel's entitled to a vacation, so am I. There's a lot of stress paying all these fees and taxes, so I'm entitled to a vacation once in a while.
Yeah, but you at least gave notice.
That's right, I did. But then and if I would have had to inform the city council, I would have. As a matter of fact, I think I told a couple city councils
there you go.
I was going to Vegas, so, even though I didn't have to. So just to rub it in. And then what did they do? They went to Europe.
Yeah.
But hey, the return of the sales tax. Fall River area businesses are really happy. And of course, everybody in the Fall River business community has total amnesia that our state delegation and our state representatives blocked this,
for a couple of years.
For a couple of years. No, you poor people can't have a tax holiday. You small businesses can't make any money, because we need the money to give ourselves pay raises and waste it on things that don't help the taxpayer. But now, guess what? Do you think it's coincidental that it's an election year?
Well, it's not only that. They just instead of having it go to the voters for a vote, they came up with the great compromise.
Oh,
and the great compromise kept the tax rate at 6 1/4.
Yeah.
Allowed for the $15 minimum wage, but no increase based upon cost of living, and created a state tax holiday on sales tax. So now that it's been created, they have no choice to do it.
Well, CJ, you're horrible.
I know, I'm terrible.
You have to give the people all that other little information to show that these politicians, even though they gave you a little bit, as I always say, what's the difference between a Republican and a Democrat? A Republican steals from the working man and gives to the rich, and a Democrat steals from the working man and gives a little bit back. This is your little bit back.
That's right.
They're grudgingly going to give you this holiday, but they're going to, how often have we been trying to reduce the state sales tax? How often have we tried to help people who are working for minimum wage? And the big Democrats, who were the working man, quote unquote, the working man's party, tucked it to them again. But they don't tell you about this. This is the headline.
That's right.
This is the headline. You've got to read some other publications that actually get into the meat and potatoes. And CJ just let the cat out of the bag.
Such a rotten
guy. Because now they're going to
to
pretend that they didn't block this for a couple of years, and even when they do, there's always a quid pro quo. And it's not even a quid pro quo, because that means that, it's basically tit for tat. You get something, they give something, and they get something, and you get something. But they always get more than we do. And we always, and the end result is we not only get, we don't get a little bit. In the long run, we lose. We lose more money. The sales tax is going to stay where it is. I would forego the tax holiday for a reduction in the sales tax, because every single day you'll save money when you spend your money. But again, the politicians doing what they do best, and that is to make sure that they're getting as much out of your wallet as possible. And it's too bad. It's too bad. But hey, at least at least some of these businesses, and they're all looking forward to it, and you know, they always make a lot of money. They make more money, there's more traffic, and good. Oh, and a side note, it just reminded me, I'm looking at these headlines and from the Herald News, and I was told, I didn't hear it myself, but I was told by more than one source that Mark Monroe Dion was on the local radio station, and he confirmed the fact that he's no longer with the Herald News. He didn't get into any details. I don't know why. But I will take this opportunity, even though I didn't agree with all his columns. I always enjoyed his columns. He turned the phrase very well. I enjoyed a lot of his columns, and he had a perspective that he articulated very well. And even when I disagreed with the column, I still had to kind of grin at some of the phrases that he used. And it was nice to see something we've been talking about. When he was on the radio, one of our viewers told me that he was talking about Faust Fiore and said he's done pretty well for a waiter. So I think we're going to take credit for coining that initially. So we talked about that. But good luck in your endeavors. I'm sure you'll be writing somewhere else. I'm gonna miss the column.
Well, hopefully he's writing for, you know, a decent newspaper, not the Sterile News or the Tribune.
Yeah. But I wish him well.
Oh, so do I.
Like I said, with us, you know, you can think, and you can, you know, we get accused of being, you know, we hate this guy. We don't hate anybody. Basically, we disagree with them, and we may disagree vehemently, but it's only on a political. It's only about politics. It's only about issues. It's only about positions. If it's personal with me and I dislike you personally for whatever.
And you know it.
And when I dislike you personally, you know it. You know it. I make it very clear. The people I dislike personally know that I dislike them personally. But it's not personal. It's not personal with anybody. You know, unless it is personal, as they said. I always try to be nice until it's time not to be nice, to coin a phrase from Roadhouse. But, so that's it. We're getting a little sales tax, and we have 7 applying for the job of Fall River Economic Development Head.
A new Office of Economic Disaster.
Our new Office of Economic Disaster. They want to become the head of a development, economic development in a city it's virtually impossible. They would have to be Jesus in order to develop it, because our workforce is undereducated, has virtually no skill, and that's one of the reasons. You know, we see what's happening in Rhode Island. They're beginning to train people. Basically, our workforce has been relegated, for the most part, not all, but for the most part, to people who can only qualify for minimum wage, no-skill jobs.
That's right.
And those are the first jobs terminated and the last jobs hired, and they are expendable in those jobs. You need to have some type of skill. But again, what is this? A paycheck.
That's right.
A paycheck for somebody, and probably their staff.
Well, you know, here it is. Karnak the Magnificent.
Ooh.
A monkey throwing feces at nothing.
That's
the new Economic Development Director for Fall River.
Yeah, and how many, you know, we've had, you know, and FROED and everything else, and we can go back, I can go back decades. And I was on the Heritage State Park Board. I was one of the original members of the Heritage State Park Board, with Mark Sullivan, the former head of the
CFC.
Citizens for Citizens. And I remember Ken Fiola going down there talking about the carousel and saying it was going to bring 500,000 tourists to Fall River. So we all know how that turned out. Yeah, we all know how the bounty, the HMS Bounty turned out.
Yep. As a matter of fact, it's 20 feet under right now.
Yeah, deep 6. That's
deep
it. It's
6.
got the
That's
deep
right.
6. And But look, like I said, this is politics at its best, creating jobs that don't ever accomplish anything, and somebody gets a pension and a pay, and nothing ever happens. Think about it. Has Fall River improved over the last 20 years? Has the educational system improved? We again didn't make the top 100. Am I correct in that?
That is correct.
Again, we didn't make the top 100. But remember, we're going to put 12 new jobs for 152 Puerto Ricans, and half of those are administrative jobs, which they will retain after the money runs out, and we'll pay for them. They're great at making jobs, giving pay raises, and I guarantee they'll get pay raises when we start paying the bill. They're going to take the money that they're getting from the feds now in the grant, and once we start paying, they'll figure out a way to give them a pay raise and maybe even increase the number of people. So this is what they do best. We haven't developed our economy. Have we done anything? We have fewer people employed in Fall River. We're always at the top of the unemployment. We laud the opening of things like Amazon. You know, they made a big deal out of it, and we got, what, 12 people working up there?
Yeah.
So it's like, this is again a reason, another reason why you got to clean house with these people. This Fall River has become the definition of insanity. We continue to do the same thing over and over and over again and expect a different result. We don't train our people. We don't spend our money in the classrooms educating our children. We don't give them technical skills, even though there are 6 to 10 million unfilled jobs because of inadequate training. We don't do that. What do? The mayor goes to Paris, and now we got bicycle paths painted all over the city of Fall River. Like, this is good. This is Europe. The only reason people use bicycles in Europe is they can't afford gas.
And I'll tell you right now, and I have to say this because I have a friend who's in Portugal right now.
Yep.
He's paying 2.63 cents in euros per liter. 4 liters make a gallon.
Yeah.
2.63 cents in euros is $3 a liter. That's $12 a gallon for gasoline.
Yeah.
So I wonder why they're driving bicycles.
Yeah, and by the way, if you want to do a little Googling, Google what the annual income is in those countries in comparison to the United States. It's very low.
Yeah.
Their lifestyle is different. They've been using public transportation forever. I mean, in the 50s and 60s, they were paying $10 for gas in Europe. Why do they have an amazing train system? Why do they have amazing public transportation? When you go to virtually any city, any major city in Europe, you see mopeds, bicycles, everything that they can get the maximum amount or pay for no gas.
Right.
They have a vehicle that they only use by necessity. But, you know, our mayor goes over there, he walks down the Champs-Élysées, he sees 1 million bicycles, he goes, oh, we're going to do that in Fall River. Guess what? If they do start using bicycles over here, the police are going to be chasing down stolen bikes because you're not going to see it. Look.
Or worse, we're going to be chasing down drivers who run them off the road.
Exactly. but you know, it's like, are we living in a world of reality here? No, we're living in Goebbels' propaganda world, the alternate universe. They keep telling us that they're going to make us Paris or Portugal or Newton by drawing pictures of bicycles and every major street's now going to have a bicycle path, like we're going to have hundreds of people riding bicycles around the city. Sorry, this is America. People are spoiled here. They're going to drive their car if they're a half a block away from the store. And they'll drive it as long as they can. As long as they're capable and it's humanly possible, they will use their vehicles. Let's get serious. Like, we never get serious. They keep promising you pie in the sky. They keep telling you things are going to get better in 5 years. in 10 years, in 20 years. That's like, well, I don't have to tell you, CJ, that's like doing triage. You look at somebody that's got an arterial bleed, and you got somebody with a hangnail, and you leave the guy with the arterial bleed there while you treat somebody with the hangnail. And you know, what's going to happen? They're going to die. We need immediate attention. We've needed immediate attention for many, many years. The only thing that's gotten better is their tax revenue. They keep taking more and more money and giving us less and less. We have less firefighters, less police officers. They're paying less for health care. The most expensive health care system in the world, and they are paying $8 million less than they did 8 or 9 years ago. I've got the numbers, and if anybody wants to see them, I'll prove it. Because they've shifted that cost to the employees. The employees are paying $3 to $4 million more a year out of their pocket toward their health care. That's why the city's paying less, not because they're
You're a liability.
They're great. That's right. But that's the actives, too. The actives and...
They're liabilities, too.
I know, everybody's a liability. But you know, this is the thing that when we get to shows like this, it's like, this is what keeps me angry, that nobody seems to get this. How long are you going to let them shovel manure down your throat before you close your mouth? How long are you going to let them con you into believing that a bicycle path or outdoor dining on a street that basically has 2 businesses, neither of which are major businesses, are going to bring people to Fall River? And then you get your cronies to call the radio and say, oh, people are going to come to Fall River because the Pink Beans got outdoor dining. Yeah, everybody's going to drive here for a cup of coffee and a donut.
They don't even have donuts.
To sit on, well, I think I went in there once, and I got a coffee. But, you know, I mean, wake up. And I understand there are a lot of people who have awakened, because I talk to them, and you talk to them, CJ. But the problem is, most of the people who used to vote these clowns out are gone. You want to see all those people that used to vote 5 city councilors out at a whack, would throw a mayor out of office in a heartbeat if he raised taxes 2 years in a row, not 10 years in a row, 15 years in a row, and then tell you it's your obligation to get a tax increase every year. Even though you can't get a raise at your job, even though I won't give you anything except more fees and more taxes, and you get nothing for your investment. You pay the bills, I take care of my friends, and we keep raising you, and you're paying more for less. When? Well, if you want to see all the friends that used to make this city a little bit more accountable, go over to Somerset, Swansea, Rehoboth, Westport, Dartmouth, New York, California, North Carolina, Florida, anywhere but Fall River, because they've all moved out. There was a time that we had 75% of the people vote in an election. Politicians don't care anymore. 14%, 11%, and 9 of that 11% are political cronies. So how can you get them out of office? I feel your pain. But the only thing we can do is try to get everybody upset enough to get out. You can do it if you get upset enough and you pay attention. You paid attention to Flanagan's shenanigans, and we took a mayor that was elected by 70% of the vote, and a year later, he was unelected by 70% of the vote. Because the people finally got up and spoke at the polls. And as Samuel Gompers, one of the leading men in the union movement, at the beginning of the union movement, once said, the true power of labor, which is the people, is that you have to elect your friends and defeat your enemies at the polls. And we did that You know, we did that once and we can do it again. And we used to do it in a time gone by, and we have to bring it back, because if you want anything to change, if you think this economic development, a new change in the name, putting a different shade of lipstick on that pig is going to help, you need your head examined.
Well, that's, you know, and that's the big problem. It's the voters' fault. And you are a voter out there. You are a voter. And you keep electing the same people because it's not my guy. Get rid of everyone, but not my guy. My guy fixed a pothole in front of my house. My guy made sure my trash was picked up. My guy got me tickets to the Mets game, whatever the case may be. Okay? But they all need to go. All 9 of the city councilors need to go. The mayor needs to go. All the school committee members need to go. All of them. And that's what you don't understand. Don't let them sit there and fester. And that's why, and that's exactly what they do. They fester. They fester like a sore.
Or like a tick, they embed themselves and give you a disease. You don't get Lyme disease, you get tax disease.
Yeah, exactly. You know, you get that's parasitical. That's a big difference.
Yeah.
Because again, politics means one thing. Poly meaning many, ticks meaning bloodsuckers, and that's exactly what they are.
Well, you know, as you said, and the point we've made here numerous times, we haven't done it in a while, I don't think, but we'll remind everybody. Why is politicians are probably the most important people you actually will have any real power over. You don't have any power over your mechanic or you have to change mechanics. But as Samuel Clemens Mark Twain once said, and very, very, I feel, appropriately, politicians are like diapers. They need changing often. And
for the same reason.
For the same reason, exactly. And for the same reason, that's right. That's the end of it. And for the same reason, they're full of you know what. But you know, that's the problem. Politics is the only, and they've done this. This is a great Goebbels move. They took politics and they changed the opinion of people to where you elect politicians not based on the fact that they're going to represent you, that they're going to work for you, that they're there to represent you, to representing somebody that, you know, is popular, or or you're a friend of.
Or a chow mein sandwich.
Or a chow mein sandwich, exactly. Because, as I've said a million times, if your next door neighbor, great guy, makes a good hamburger, you know, you can go over to his yard and have a burger. You can like him personally. Again, we get to this ability to separate personal and politics and professional, or what, you know, is with professional or whatever. In other words, compartmentalize your personal feelings. It's only about the person. Do you like the guy? Do you like the same baseball team, or do you like talking football, or whatever reason? You know, you're friendly. You get along. Some people don't get along. Well, then they're not your friend. Some people are philosophically different. They don't get along, but some people get along. And so they're your friends, and you'll go over and you'll have a beer with them. You'll have a burger with them. You'll talk to them over a fence. You won't avoid them. But that doesn't mean you vote for them for city council or for mayor or for state rep. You see her in the market. Oh, hi, how you doing? Yeah, have a oh, I owe her a vote. I owe him a vote. I know him. I see him at the market every day. Well, you know something? If the person you see at the market every day is an auto mechanic and he can't fix your car, you'd be a total idiot to bring your car to him. And I would bet most of you are at least that smart not to continue to bring a car and pay a guy for not fixing your car or anything else. You don't go to a store that charges you 10 times what you could pay for that item in another store. Even if you know the guy, you don't go to the store. But a politician, that doesn't apply. And you know the irony of that to me? The irony is that with a politician, they'll never know. You're nice to them, you say hello to them, you have a burger with them, you have a beer with them. They're going to probably think you voted for them anyway, even if you didn't. And if they ask you, you got an option. You can tell them straight and see if they're professional enough to understand that their political position is different from your personal relationship. And if they're not, well, you lose a friend. But were they truly a friend? So, I mean, that's the irony of the thing. A politician will never know truly if you voted for them. That's the amazing thing about America, the secret ballot. You go in there, you make your line, you put your check mark, and you can go out and tell anybody that you voted for him. And the only way that he's going to know that you didn't vote for him is if he only gets one vote in that election, and he voted for himself. Because even if he got only 2 votes, you could be that 1 vote that he got. But people don't do that. And that's the problem that we have. The problem that we have is we think that the city council, well, you know, we got 9 of them. I'll vote for 9 people because I think they might do the job. I'll vote for 3 people because I think they do the job. And the other 6 that I vote for, or 5 that I vote for, I know this guy from the market. He likes the same baseball team, and you know, he gave me a Red Sox hat once, or he gave me Coney Island hot dogs, or a chow mein sandwich. And you know, you suffer the consequences. You suffer the consequences, and the consequences are a dying city, a city that hasn't got improved in 20 years. It's gotten worse. The school departments and administrators have gotten bigger and bigger. Pay's got higher and higher. Maintenance departments, maintenance people got pay raises. All our buildings are falling apart. Nobody does their job, and everybody gets paid more. And it's the fault of the voters. You will not clean the swamp.
How true that is, how true that is. And nobody wants to hear that it's their fault.
That's right. And remember, a woman was cited after she hit somebody on a rail trail. So,
and we want to put a road across it.
And let's put a big road so more people can get hit.
Yep.
Right? And she said she didn't know what the blinking lights meant, and she was from the Cape. So, well.
Which, by the way, the Cape has lots of bicycle paths.
Oh, yeah, but
they're all over the Cape.
Do you actually take a driver's test anymore to get a driver's license?
I don't know.
Because you don't know what blinking lights mean. I think that she should lose her license because, you know, that's, you know, ignorance. Last time I checked, except if you're a politician, ignorance of the law was not considered an excuse in the court.
Now, this is interesting because as the gentleman crossed the Quequechan Street, a 2009 Nissan Versa operated by a 73-year-old Fall River woman accelerated and struck him.
Oh, he was from the Cape. I apologize. He was from the Cape.
He was from the Cape.
Yeah, he was from the Cape.
And the woman accelerated and struck him, knocking him to the ground. Yeah. You don't know what your brake is? You don't know what it is to stop?
Well, look, silly me. Of course the person that didn't know what the blinking light meant was from Fall River.
Of course.
How did I mix that up? I'm sorry. That was it.
You insulted people from the Cape.
Yeah,
hey, no. They're smart enough to send their druggies down to Fall River.
Well, yeah, I was trying to remember where Marston Mills area was in Barnstable, but hey, people, stay angry, and we will have a show on Monday.
We will be here.
Yahoo!
So remember, follow the news, follow your politicians, and make sure that you stay angry with them and let them know you won't give them a vote if they keep it up.
And enjoy your tax holiday that Mike Roderick will not vote for.
Which is next weekend. Have a great day and a great weekend, everyone.